been participating in the chat. Nick jumped on, my husband, and has been chiming in. He's been commenting this morning on social media on my posts, saying that he's the brains behind the operation. And he comes up with, hold on. Oh, heavens. I have too many computers going. Hang on. Christmas, Halloween, Easter. There we go. Between the phone and the watch and the laptop and the iPad and all that. Anyhow, Nick and I have, well, I've been getting quite a chuckle out of Nick this morning, my husband, and his comments on social media on my posts, and then here in the chat as well. He keeps trying to, well, he keeps claiming that he comes up with all the ideas for what we do here. And one of these days, I'm going to hold his feet to the fire and make him come in and say, okay, hon, share all your ideas with everybody and see how that goes, because that would be, as you and I both know, quite amusing. Anyhow, we're kind of a family of comedians a little bit in our house. If you have not already observed that over the, I don't know, last 45 weeks or so. So welcome. Welcome everybody. My name is Lael Concar, and I have a business called Lael by Mail. This is our 45th week of being together every week, mostly Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And we've been doing lots of things over the last almost year. Nick said to me last night, so what are you going to do for like the year? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. So we'll have to come up with something really fun. Since we can't all be in Hawaii in my dream place that I always describe where we're all together doing fun things, we'll have to come up with a plan B. So I'll start thinking about that. But anyway, we've done all kinds of different things. I've started in the early days of the pandemic sharing one of my passions, which is traveler's notebooks. I love traveler's notebooks. I've been using them, I think this April will be about 6 years. So they are a big part of my life, and you can pretty much do anything in them. And we talked a lot in the early days about how you could use a traveler's notebook, what they are, the different things you could do with them. And I'd say probably the last, I don't know, maybe four months, maybe 5 months, I don't know. We have been doing creative listing on Saturdays, and that is what we are going to do today. So I have a couple of different things to cover before we get started. Biggest thing though is that there's a ton of information in the links in the description of the video down below. Different places that you can find me, my website, links to a lot of the different products I use, links to the 3 prompts, the list prompts that we will be doing this particular session. That's always kind of your go-to place if you have questions about anything. There's also a live chat that takes place, and I see lots and lots and lots of things going on. I see Scrappy Matilda, Tracy. So you guys, I have a hard time walking and chewing gum at the same time. As we are working and I'm talking and I'm also trying to pay attention to what's happening in the chat, it is hard for me sometimes to keep up with the chat. Shirley, I don't usually see you in the chat, so welcome. But now you can see I get sidetracked because I see, and Shakira's here live. Good, Jeanette. So I will do my best to see things in the chat, but a lot of times I just miss them. So if you have a question, a lot of the people in the chat are, well, everyone in the chat is super nice, but a lot of the people have been here for a really long time with me and they know lots of things. So if you have a question and I don't answer it, they may provide an answer for you. Thumbs up if you like the video. Super important. I know a lot of you watch from all over the world, and you always ask, how can I support you? Because shipping is too expensive. You know what? You can support by thumbs up. And that's really just kind of a quick public service announcement. Anybody that you follow on social media, anyone that you follow on YouTube or any of the social media platforms, just leaving a comment and giving a thumbs up is a great way to support in a non-financial way, because the way all the algorithms on all of the social medias work, that really helps us. So thumbs up. If you want to give it a thumbs down, you can do that too, because every once in a while that happens. That's just also when we kind of remember what our moms taught us, at least what my mom taught me when I was young. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't give it a thumbs down. No, anyhow, free speech, do whatever you want. Okay, so I have a little list of things that I need to make sure that we talk about before we get started. First of all, last week, you guys, as I was reading through all the comments, thank you so much for your kind words about our cat, Poe. That was super hard, and like anything, we have good days, and I have good days and bad days. I've worked from home for almost 8 years, and so he was kind of my little pal. So it's just hard, but thank you so much for all of your thoughts and prayers and comments and cards. Penny, if you're on, I just opened yours this morning, so thank you. I'll send you an email. Which leads me into the giveaway that we did last week. So if you are new, I've been doing lots of giveaways. Well, giveaway usually every week here. And it's really easy to participate. And basically ask you to leave a comment. So last week, to participate in last week's giveaway, on that video, I asked you to leave a comment telling me something that you have never done before. And that tied into our Never Have I Ever list from last week. So some really fun things to read that people had never done before. So I selected one of those comments randomly, and the winner of the prize pack, the stamp prize pack from last week, was Kristen Stode. So congratulations, Kristen, if you are on. I left you a reply to your comment telling you how to get in touch with me, so I can send you off your prize pack. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, we have another one to give away this week. So the prize packs, the stamp prize packs. My friend Andy has created some amazing stamps, and many of you are familiar with this one, or list it too. So these are the listing stamps that we've been using for quite a while here on Saturdays. But the price pack that Sandy, I just read someone say Sandy, or I just read, you know what I mean. Anyhow, so Andy has been super generous in providing some prizes from her little stamps. And so there are 2 stamps and a cute little sticker and a cute little pin that are her logo. So this week we will do another giveaway. So if you'd like to participate in the giveaway, I will ask you once we're done today to go on the video itself. So not in the chat, but go in the video, leave a comment, and tell me. Last week we did the Never Have I Ever. We're going to continue as our first list today as But I Have. So let me know something that you have done. Again, I'll just throw this out there. Last week I just said, let's leave it, PG-13-ish. So just leave a comment on something that you have done. I will also watch very closely after the fact, because I always get a few random YouTube people that are nefarious folks that leave sexually explicit comments that shouldn't be. So I will really be watching that closely, because we don't want one of those to pop up in the But I Have. There is one thing that I'm going to throw in. Oh, Michelle, thank you. I just happened to see that. Good morning, Irene. I hate not reading all the chat. Anyhow, one little thing that I'm going to throw in as part of the giveaway for this week is this little guy. This is a clean color. So I can't read it that way. It's a dot marker. So it's one of the dot markers that I showed you guys last week. It's not one that I used. I found some black ones. Denise, who's one of the gals who participates here, sent me a link to these. Yes, Denise, thank you. So I bought some, and I am going to give one of these away. So we'll talk about these dot markers in a minute, because they're amazing. They are a find that I came across within the last week or so, and I shared them a little bit last week. But okay, so that is this week's prize. Let me set that off to the side, because I know what's going to happen. If you hear a loud crash in a minute, it's just going to be loud. I know, the dot marker. I hadn't heard of them either, so they're pretty cool. Vicki! Hi, Vicki. So many of you know my dear friend Vicki Booten. I had the chance, well, I shouldn't say had the chance, I made the time last night to do what you guys are doing today. I said I sure miss all the comments and all the chat happening, because it's hard for me to participate in that. Last night, Vicki does Friday Night Lives on YouTube, or on Facebook, and her Vicki Booten Artist Facebook page. So if you like this and you like the community that we have built here, I encourage you, if your Friday nights are free, you can always watch them after the fact as well, but to go check out Vicki, because Vicki and I are very alike, except we have one huge difference, well, two huge differences. She lives in Canada, I live in the US. Other huge difference is that she is very artsy and very mixed media-y, and I am the opposite end of the spectrum. But basically, we do the same thing. We travel and teach. We've been in the industry forever. Well, another big difference, Vicki has her own product line, and I do not. And you've seen me use Vicki's products before. In the Lil way, not the Vicki way. But anyhow, if you like what the community we've built here, if you like the interaction, she is an amazing artist and has so much to share in terms of mixed media and painting. But she does it in a very approachable way, and she's very good at instructing. So as she's, playing and joking, she talks a lot about what she's doing and why something would work or why something wouldn't work. So I encourage you to check her out. Okay, let's see. Oh, I did a quick check. The Epson printer, since we always talk about that, that's back down to $1.99 on Amazon today. That's linked in the description of the video. I talked a little bit about social media. There is a Lail by Mail Facebook group, and every time I mention that, people are like, what? I didn't know. So I've linked to that in the description of the video, but I encourage you to join us over there. There's lots of sharing of different lists that people are working on. So typically after the Saturdays, we see people come into the group and share what they've been working on. I had a question this week. Somebody said, do I have to share a list of yours? No, share any list. If you're working on a knitting project, it's just it's a fun place to be, and feel free to share whatever you'd like. So it's just under Lail by Mail, but you'll also find it in the description of the video below. Also on Instagram, if you are listing and if you are doing our Saturday list, just tag it listing with Lail so that I can see it. Sometimes if you tag me, or hashtag I should say, but if you tag me, sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. But if you also do the hashtag, that helps other people to see it. Okay, so I think now we're ready to, I'm going to flip the camera, open the shades, turn on the lights. I have to tell you, I was major hot flashes this morning. I don't know why. I haven't had one in a couple months, but it was bad. So I'm really hoping that the lights, the studio lights, don't trigger that again. If so, we might have to open a window. So bear with me for a sec. We'll start out here. I'm going to flip the camera. So remember, arms and legs inside the right at all times while we take a spin. Oh, ooh, okay. Let's just get adjusted here a bit. Let's see if we go that way. If that, oh no, that's not gonna work. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. I do have one of the fans that you can like wear around your neck. I won't do that. Although sometimes when we get desperate, right? Desperate times call for desperate measures. And if you're a middle-aged woman and you're hot flashing, desperate times sometimes call for desperate measures, right? Okay. All right, so let's see. You just found the Facebook group. Awesome, mega RBH. You know what? We might also have, we might have some newbies that hopped on over from Vicki's Facebook Live last night. So if you are a newbie from Vicki's Facebook group, welcome to you too. All right, friends, lots of junk in the way. One quick thing that I wanted to talk about really before we get started. One of the questions that came up in the Facebook group earlier this week was about organizing our supplies. And I keep saying I have a series of videos that I need to do about how I organize my supplies. I'm not the expert by any means. We all have different ways of organizing and also reorganizing, because a lot of times that's what we do. We like to organize and then reorganize because that's part of the fun. But the question that came up was about these little pouches that, that you guys see me use and how I use them. So I thought I would talk about that just for a second. These pouches, I'd say I've been using probably for the last, I don't know, maybe a year. And it's probably one of the organizing things that I've held on to for a while. I like to switch things up, and this is one thing that I've really haven't switched up. So it's something that's working for me. These little pouches I get on Amazon, and I link to them in the description of the video down below. They are about 13 inches wide. So depending on the stickers, if you're storing stickers in them, some of the stickers you might have to just trim off the top here. So that's what I had to do in this one. I had to trim it off of the top. Even though the stickers are a little bit smaller than 13, they just don't really fit. So just that's something to know. But the question was, and I think it was Wanda. So I think Wanda, when I just saw you say thanks, Lael, it triggered the memory that I think that was you. So what I do when and this is me, you guys. So I always say you do you. And a lot of this really depends on when you sit down to work on something, your thought process. So do you think in colors? Do you think, oh, I need to see all of my things that are teal? If you wanted to see all of your things that were teal, then you would probably organize all of your things like this by color. That is not how I think about things. I think about things generally in two different kind of silos, depending on the product. So when I first start working with a new collection, and what I mean by collection is when I start working with like the Hello Today collection that I've been using for the last couple of weeks, I put every thing from that collection into the same little pouch. Because when that's brand new, I'm really excited about using it. And so that's how my mind thinks, ooh, I want to work with Hello Today. So I have that all together. Another silo that I might put things in is, and I didn't do this just because, well, I didn't know Vicki was going to be on, but I didn't do this just because Vicki's here. But this is an example of how I would sort by manufacturer. So Vicki, even though she doesn't manufacture her own products, American Crafts does, a lot of times I'll think, ooh, I want to use Vicki products. So I might put all of Vicki's products in one pouch. But for Vicki, for example, I would do two things. Storyteller is still new. We'll talk about Storyteller again in a minute. So when I know this is brand new, back in stock, I want to work with all the Storyteller. I keep all the Storyteller stuff together. But as I start working through this collection, eventually I'm like, okay, it's kind of picked over. I've used a lot of Storyteller. I don't want to necessarily work with it together anymore. But in my head, I think, oh, it needs to move from the Storyteller pouch into the Vicki pouch. So then it just can blend right in with the Vicki stuff that I am using down the road. So that is really how I think about storing and organizing a lot of my embellishments or my crafting products. So you can see in here, there are die cuts, there's paper pad, there's stickers, all of those things would kind of be in here like that. One other thing that I want to just show you, one more way that I do things is by season. So besides those kind of examples that I used, I will also then separate things by season. So what we're seeing here is a mixture of Amy Tangerine Late Afternoon, is a mixture of Simple Stories Cozy Days. So as I've started working my way through a collection, I've kind of picked it over, then I will sort things by season. So really, now this is fall, I can completely get this out of the way. If I don't have a lot of room for storage, I can put this like completely out of my crafting area until fall rolls around again, and then I'll pull it back out. Now that works for fall, that works for summer. When it comes to Christmas, because I also do December Daily, December Documented, I have 3 giant bins of Christmas stuff. So Christmas doesn't quite work that way. But so that's a really quick kind of peek into how I organize my things and how I use these guys to organize things. I use for different die cuts, like heart die cuts. Let's see. You've seen me pull these things out before. These little, like little iris cases, these 5x7 iris cases. So I would put all my little heart things in there because that's how I think. Oh, I need a little heart to use as a bullet. So I know it's super easy. I just come to hearts. Or my friend Iris Whimsy Fox, all of her little things I put in there. Different die cuts from the stamp market I put in there. So that's how I organize those. Denise, what do I store my pouches in? This question comes up all the time, and I always say, oh, I know, at the end, I'll show you. And then I totally forget. So let's everybody try to help me remember. And you know what, maybe I just need to next week, I just need to film at least this one so I can go over that, and then you guys can see behind. When I start my videos, I have that big Kallyx Expedit, you know, whatever it is from Ikea behind me. And I have doors and drawers on almost all of mine because I don't like any of that stuff to be showing. So I use like a letter tray, one of the vertical letter trays. I can't pull this out. Anyhow, when we're done, when we flip the camera, I will show you kind of what it looks like back there, if I can remember. And then I'm really going to try hard next week, maybe to try to film that video. All right. Oh, I know, before I put this away, Storyteller. So when Storyteller first came out,
the creative genius is leaving.
Oh, okay. Nick just had to walk in and say the creative genius is leaving.
Oh,
yeah. All right. I'm not leaving. He is. Anyhow, so Storyteller. If you're not familiar with Vicki's Storyteller collection, this came out in the fall, and you guys literally, it sold out almost before it hit the market. No, Mari, not golf today. He's running to Home Depot. Too cold, but not cold enough. I mean, too cold to golf. Not enough snow really to ski. Well, I should say when you have access to skiing like 15 minutes from your front door, there's not enough snow to ski. Because you're spoiled. Anyhow, so Vicki's Storyteller was amazing and gorgeous, and the die cuts, quite a few of the products sold out. They are back in stock, and I just got my shipment again this week. So if you were looking for those, they're back in stock. I've linked to them kind of, I think, at the very bottom of the description of this video. But this little guy I pulled out. If you guys may remember, the first time that I used Storyteller, which was, probably back in maybe September or October, this one, I pulled this one out, and I said, oh, I want to use this. And I said, nope, you know what? We are going to wait and use this. I'm going to use this for a future list. So I'm going to use this one for one of our lists next week. I think next week. I have to look at my list of lists. Anyhow, I think next week, but I'm going to do a 2-page list, and it's going to be about books and my favorite books. The 2-page list, though, they're going to be on one side will be my favorite books as a kid, and on the other side, my favorite books as an adult. So I just thought I would share that now, not necessarily for this, but also share that is a list that may take you a little bit more time to kind of think about and maybe do a little bit of Googling about, a little bit of research to try to remember. So I'll be using lots of Storyteller next week since it's back. Okay, we are now 23 minutes in, and this is probably a really good time for me to bring this up. This is a live stream, right? For me, a lot of times it is just a stream of conscious. We are all hanging out together. We're all working together. We're all having fun together. So a lot of times it will take 15 or 20 minutes before we actually start getting down to work. And that's just what it is, right? We all have to catch up. We haven't seen each other in a week. I always have lots to share. Like Mr. Rogers, when he would start his show, always had lots to share at the beginning. And we all sat through him taking off his shoes and putting on his cardigan. That's what we're doing, right? We are going through that process. So if you're not a fan of the beginning of this, then you can always fast forward until we get to playing. So, let's see. Yes, Terry, and I will also mention that, and I mentioned that at the very end of the description of the video. Some of the links, if you are following them and they are not to my website, are affiliate links, which means if you purchase from any of those other sites, I get a very, very, very small little commission, which helps to continue to do these, because I don't want to charge for these. Because it's fun. It's fun for me. Okay, friends, so our first list. Hopefully I got everything on my list. I did. Yeah, okay, good. Lists upon lists. There's always all kinds of lists in my life. All right, so our first list. Last week, we did 3 lists. So we'll end with this in a sec. The first one was, I think that was the first one. No, that wasn't last week, right? Oh gosh, I can't even remember now. No, maybe it was. I think it was. It was. Okay. Last week, I think our first list was more or less, and I didn't add anything to this. And this is Vicki, right? This is Vicki's color kaleidoscope that I had a lot of fun using. So last week's list was more or less. So we made a list of things that we'd like to do more of. Oh yes, it's dated, so I know for sure it was last week. And then things that I would like to do less of. So that's kind of a fun one to look back on and really see, did I do it? I did this part, iced tea. I haven't had any iced tea this week, which that's good. Water, well, water with a little bit of Crystal Light lemonade in it. Anyhow. All right, so that was last week's list. This was last week's second list was winter memories, and I needed to do a little bit of work to finish this guy off. So I finished this off this week and posted it on social media. This type of list is something that we have been doing pretty much every season. So we do a summer memories, a fall memories, a winter memories. So we'll be doing a spring memories at some point in the future. And then the third list. The third list was Never Have I Ever. And we had a lot of fun with that. And there was a lot of lively discussion in the chat about things that people had done and things that people hadn't done. And in the middle of that, I thought, oh my gosh, okay, you guys, this needs to be a 2-page list. And I said next week, which is now today, we're going to do the other half of this list. So Never Have I Ever was last week. This week is But I Have, and then we'll do our little things there. So I am going to grab my same, I was thinking for a second. I'm going to grab the same Sunshine Swimming Pool color stickers for my title here, But I Have, so that will help to kind of join it all together. What I was trying to decide there was whether or not I wanted to do what I did on the left page. So on the left page, I actually wrote my list on a piece of white cardstock and adhered it to the page of my insert. The reason why I did that, on the back side, I had already done this list, right? And I used these brand new markers that I had. These are dot markers. These were the discovery that I made. And I saw it on some random, wasn't even someone I follow on Instagram. You know how Instagram thinks that they know you and all the social media places think they know you, and then they start showing you things that you might like. Well, in this case, I loved it. I loved what I saw. These were these little dot markers. So I'd never seen anything like this, except for, and I joked a little bit, they're like very small size, the giant bingo markers, if you've ever played bingo. But basically what they do is, let's take this list. They have 2 ends, so they're dual tipped. You have a regular end like this. There's my regular end, so I can do, whatever writing I want with that. But on the other side, there is that rounded tip. So it's a dot marker, and I can vary the size of my dot based on how hard I push. So if I just do that, it's a little dot. But if I go like that, it's a bigger dot. And if I go like that, it's a bigger dot. And if I really press down, it'll give me a bigger dot. So a lot of times when I make my lists, I like to do bullets, right? And these are bullets. So those are what I used last week. This is the black one that I just mentioned that I will give away as part of this week. So I thought, oh, the black is perfect, because a lot of times you just want to have a nice black little bullet. All of that to say, the reason why I ended up doing this list on a piece of white cardstock instead of directly on the page is because, see, when you press on these, depending on how hard you press, a bit of ink comes out, right? And look on the back side, I get some shadowing and some ghosting. And I didn't want that to happen on the back of my beautiful list that I had done here. That would make me cry if all of a sudden I had all these colored dots that were ghosting through, right? So I'm trying to decide if I want to do the same thing here, just to kind of give it some symmetry, which I think I will. Yes, Zig makes the dot markers, and I have included a link to them in the description down below. They're not in my shop. The distributor that I work with doesn't carry them, although I will tell you that Zig reached out to me earlier this week. So I bought them on Amazon, and they were asking me about my purchase, and they said they would send me a free marker if I answered some questions for them. So I said, well, yes, let me tell you about myself. So I don't sell them now, but I may. I think if I do, you guys, here's the thing. If I do, I'll probably only do the black ones, just because this is really generic. These sets, I bought a set of 12, and the set of 12 I think was about $30. So they're a little bit more expensive. I don't know that that's something that I will bring into my store, just because that is, inventory wise, it's a little bit harder to carry something like that because it's a little bit more expensive. All right, so I am grabbing my white cardstock. I need to grab my trimmer. The white cardstock I use, I always link in the description of the video as well. I also get that from Amazon, and I prefer to use 8.5 by 11. The inserts that I use are standard wide, so standard is 8.25 tall. So if I'm working with an 8.5 by 11, all I need to do is basically trim a 1/4 inch off. So I have very little waste there. And the inserts are standard wide, so 5 inches is the wide. So I can trim at 5 and then 5, and basically this is all the waste that I have from that one piece of paper. So it just works really well for my Traveler's Notebook inserts. A lot of times I will have lots of these already pre-cut so that I can use when I want to work with them, but I always like to show you that process instead of just pulling this out, and then you wonder, where did that come from? So now I'm going to cheat. I am going to come over here and just mark there and there. So then I'll have the same size. Matchy-matchy. I know things aren't supposed to be matchy-matchy, but in my brain, in my non-Vicki Booten brain, that's how things work. That's how things work. You guys will get to know Vicki. If you don't know Vicki, you'll get to know Vicki much more in the coming weeks. We did something that's kind of fun that is coming up on February 3rd. So you'll hear me talk about that as we get a little bit closer to that. Well, no, not as we get closer on February 3rd. This one, Joanne, is called But I Have. So it's a continuation of last week, Never Have I Ever, But I Have. Okay, so this will go, oh heavens. I always think, oh, I'm totally ready. I was totally ready last night. I was hanging out, watching Vicki's Facebook Live, learning all about all the mixed media things that she was doing. I was getting my email ready to go out. I was just doing all kinds of things, but I forgot to bring in some of my tools apparently that I needed. All right, so that'll go there. But I have, so I'll use these same little stickers. Let's get the ruler out and get these lined up. I like to use, especially when I am doing a, golly, I really wasn't ready. Hang on, just gotta get my little garbage pail there. So I have a place to put all the little garbages in. So the cleanup isn't so horrible when we're done. All right, so when I'm doing a longer title, I like to pull out my little ruler here. You guys like this ruler. I bought lots and lots of these rulers. It's just so good. It's a nice sturdy steel, 6 inches, so it's kind of not bite size, but it's smaller size, right? When we're working with our traveler's notebooks, it's nice that it's a smaller size. But what I like to do is line up my stickers like that. So I will get the But I Have. Yeah, Terry, I don't know. I haven't been to a local big box store in a while. Yes, I have to tell you though, Vicky's also an enabler. She was showing some really cool thing to store your things in on your desk that she had seen from Paige Evans, and she bought it. And so, literally, as soon as she sews that, I'm off to michaels.com to order it. And I just figure, you know what? Ordering online like that, at least for me, versus going in, it actually saves me money because even though I pay for shipping, if I walk in, then it's just a much more expensive process. Kind of like when you go to Costco. Sometimes it's cheaper if you go to Costco. A lot of times it's cheaper. However, sometimes it's better not to go to Costco because it's kind of the rule that it's impossible to walk out of Costco without paying, less than $100, even if you just, oopsie, what did I do there? That was bad. Even if you just went in to buy one thing. So it's kind of Michael's too for me. Better to just buy it online. Oh, look, there's my little card from Penny. I was going to use that in the list, so that's why I had it there. All right. Yeah, the ruler's a good one. It's a good one. And it's, I won't say it's cheap. It's inexpensive. I think it's $3 or something like that. So that's good. Good. Okay, but I have. So let's go ahead and grab our little Sharpie. You guys been thinking about your but I have? I know, Diane, and here's the other thing. And I've worked in the scrapbooking industry for quite a while. I've worked for 3 different manufacturers over the years. I have pitched many times to Michaels for different manufacturers I've worked for. It is a different beast. Well, it really is for any big box. What's so interesting, if you think about, and I'm just going to talk about this a little bit as I'm working. Michaels has, I don't know, 1,200 stores or something like that. I don't know if that's exact, but let's just say they have 1,200 stores. For them to continually bring in new product, they have to do what's called a reset. And if you think about 1,200 stores doing a reset. When I was working with one of the manufacturers I worked with, in one of the meetings that we were having with Michaels, they were telling us that they told us what it costs them. The hard dollar cost it costs them to do a reset. By the time that they have to get all the product out to the different stores, the hours it takes the stores to reset, and it just goes on and on and on and on. So a lot of times that's why you don't see a lot of new product in those stores. But also, they have to answer to their shareholders, right? So they have to do things that sometimes we don't like. I always encourage you guys to shop local, to shop your local mom and pop, scrapbook store, craft store, yarn store, coffee shop, whatever it is, because it's really important to our communities, right? We each live in a community. It's really important for our communities to support those. So sometimes you can find things at a big box store that are maybe a little bit less. But if you can, spend an extra 50 cents or $1 on adhesive and buy it from a local independent, brick and mortar scrapbook store, it's better because you're supporting your community. Now, sometimes you can't, and that's okay. But I'll get off my high horse for a minute there. Ruth, I just saw Ruth said, anyone had a COVID vaccine yet? I have not, but my mom and dad just had it yesterday. So they had their first one yesterday, which I was very, very excited about. Okay, never have I ever, never have I ever, we probably need a little ... here because I wasn't planning on that. But I have ... Okay, so what I want to add over here, I think I probably, just because this is me, I think I probably need to continue the same. Is that below? I had to move all of this. That's why my washi's coming off a little bit. It is below. Okay. So lots of love. This is the Lots of Love washi from Doodlebug, and it's so cute with all little hearts. What's nice about it is that the colors match. So anytime that you use a Doodlebug product and you use the blue swimming pool, or you use Bumblebee or whatever, Cupcake or whatever it is, I'm gonna try to, well, they won't match up, but that's okay. They match. So I know that, oh, look, this is perfect because that color matches that color because Doodlebug wanted it to be that way. All right, so now we'll do this pink one again. Because this is probably the way I would have done it, right? If I was new when I started all this last week, I probably would have done this and made it go together, right? Probably like that. All right, there we go. So I was thinking about how I wanted to do this page. And I don't, well, you know what? I'm just going to make it easy. Let's just be easy on the first one. I think I'll do the same thing I did over here with the bullets because I might as well. I need something else, though, to go over here. So I had pulled out, these are the die cuts from Hey Hello, Jen Hadfield collection, the die cuts and the stickers. I keep bringing these in because they're just, it's one of my favorites, I think, of all time. Just all the little characters and the little hedgehogs and the sloth. I used the sloth here, so I won't do another sloth, but let's see what we want to do. Kind of, I pulled out some, actually, I'm not going to use any of those because I pulled out some, oh, you know what? I'm just going to do that because that's going to be easy. I noticed on like this guy, normally I just use my tape runner, and on die cuts, it's not the best thing to use. The reason why is unless you get your tape runner all the way around the edges, which I didn't because I used tape runner, see how it's lifting? It's lifting anywhere that I didn't put my, my tape, my adhesive. So I'm using this guy. This is, they call it a two-way glue stick. What they mean by two-way is that when it is blue, it's permanent. As soon as it turns to white, it is temporary. So that if you wanted to be able to reposition it for some reason, you would let it turn white and then you would put it down and then you could move it later if you needed to. But I wanted to hurry up and put it down while it was blue because I want that to be permanent. Okay, but I have. So I think, like I said, we'll just do the exact same thing. Where's my list? Where's my pre-list of the but I have? So this was fun. Last night, Nick and I were watching Lost, and I'm like, Nick, I need you to help me on some of my lists. No, I said, I need you to help me on some of my lists. I already knew what the list topics were. I needed him to help me think of some of the things that should be on my list. And when we get to our third list today, we'll have a lot of fun with that. How he helped me remember some things. So, 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe I'll do 10 again. So let's see how many I have on my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I'm going to cross them off. I need to cross off 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to cross off 4, 10. Okay, here we go. So the first one, and this one I thought was so funny. The reason I thought this was funny was because this was one of the comments that I just happened to read in the comments from last week's video. And the person said, I've never been to Graceland. And I thought, oh, I've been to Graceland. That's going to be the first one on my but I have list. So I'm looking at my markers going, okay, yes, I start with pink. Ooh, but which one of these did I start with? I know it's that pink, right? Well, when I use my colored pencils, I've been saying forever that I need to do a swatch, right? I swatched these before I put them away last week. And all I did was put it on white cardstock and I just put it right on the box. I put it right on the box of the markers. So I know I went in order. That's candy pink, so that makes it really easy. All I have to do is come in here. It's probably this guy. And look at let's see, is that candy? Yep, it's candy pink because they aren't exactly true to color, right? They aren't exactly true to color. So candy pink. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier for sure. Oh, all right, Vicki, if you're still on, you're gonna now know this is so not what, I mean, this is how we are so different, like totally free form, mixed media, and then here I am. Oh, I gotta get out my ruler to make sure that my dots are kind of in the same place, right? One more quick thing that I want to mention. Shelly, it is Hey Hello, and I have the stickers and the die cuts. I've linked to those in the description of the video down below. The collection, Kelly, same thing. Hey Hello. One other thing I want to mention about doing this, about doing what I just did and cutting another piece of white cardstock to go over here. Not only does it help match this side, but it also is going to preserve now my next list over here, right? Because if I had done my dots and not done them on cardstock, then when I got to this list, I'd be like, oh no. But I would be okay anyway, because I already know what I'm going to do there. All right, so there we go. The first one, and it is, but I have been to Graceland. For our non-US friends, Graceland, if you don't know, is where Elvis Presley lived, kind of his estate in Memphis, Tennessee. Now I have to tell you, I was very surprised when I went to Graceland because it is basically on a super busy, like Main Street, State Street in a town. Now it's up a little tiny green hill road, but not really a hill, more like a berm. But I just had pictured it on this huge sprawling estate. It's pretty much on a super busy road. But yes, I have been to Graceland. When I worked in software for years, I used to travel a lot. So I've been to a lot of places in America. All right, now I'm looking for salmon. I got a little confused here because like this guy, I just ordered separately. This guy is, I'm sure it's just called red. Yeah, it's red. But he's not one of my colors. He's not one of my swatched colors. Is this salmon? Oh heavens, come on. No, that's island coral. Island coral's the third one. Oh, Lael, it shouldn't be this hard. Come on. Salmon, there we go. Which is weird because that does not look like salmon at all to me. That's why swatching helps. All right, so I have been to, I should probably just do all the dots like this first. I haven't gone skydiving, but I have been to Graceland. I haven't ridden a motorcycle, never will. But I have, been on TV lots of times. All good things, no bad things. Nothing like getting arrested or anything. Next one is my next little dot, which is that guy. Oopsie, not quite even, but that's okay. My next one is, eaten squid as a kid. Not the squid. The squid wasn't a kid. I was a kid. We lived in Japan for 3 years when I was 4, 5, and 6. My dad was in the Navy, and I had squid then. I remember it well. I still remember what it looked like. It was nasty. Let's see. Bootin. I see Bootin. Oh yeah, Bootin. B-O-U-T-I-N. Oh, look at that, Mari. Okay, look it. What a great tip. All right, so what Mari just said, let me show you guys what she was talking about. She said, I could use the hole in my ruler. Where's my little, oh, here. She said I could use the hole in my ruler as a guide to make my dots all uniform size, right? Look at that. Well, this is really thin paper here, so thin paper, but there we go. Oh yeah, no, paper's too thin to do that. I think when I'm pressing down, but I could probably do it on here, but I need to practice that more before I do it. All right, I've never broken a bone, but I have, lived in a foreign country. I've actually lived in 2 foreign countries. The one I just mentioned, Japan, but then I was also an exchange student in high school. I lived in Germany. Oh, get that off. I lived in Germany for 4 months on a foreign exchange. So I'm curious, you guys, what is on your list? What are your but I haves? We talked about never have I evers last week, but what are on your but I have lists or list? So this one is kiwi. Yep, that's the right one. I have never skipped out on a bill. But I have, travel to five continents. Continents. So, bummer. I've been to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is Central America, not South America, so I couldn't say 6. I have not been to Antarctica, right? Antarctica. No. Oh no, I can't even think. Climbed Coco Head in Honolulu. Ooh, met a celebrity. Drove cross country with a boy. Ooh, that's probably a good story. Karen's been a television studio audience, The Late Show with Craig Kilborn. Driven Route 66, east to west. Ooh. Oh, Route 66. Well, I know route. There's 2 ways to say that. Oh, I actually definitely know. All 7 continents. Trina, look at you. Mariana, girlfriend, we need to chat. I have not had pancakes with Prince, but I have hung out with him until 5 a.m. Oh my gosh. You guys look how fun. Zip-lined in the jungle. Met Brett Michaels, the guys from Cinderella. Okay, Karen, were you like a roadie or something? You've met all of these people. Been up in a hot air balloon and a glider. Ooh, climbed a pyramid at Chichen Itza. Oh, you guys have fun. Look at all the conversations we would have when we're in Hawaii and when we're all, it just reminded me I have to plug my phone in. When we're all in Hawaii and we're all in the big giant room and we're playing bingo and then we're having our margaritas or whatever our alcoholic beverage or non-alcoholic beverages of choice. We can talk about things that we have done, things that we've never done. We're going to have to make that like a 20-week long trip, right? One day. Been with a professional girls basketball team and traveled by van over 25,000 miles. And oh my gosh. Oh, Colleen, how cool. Met Alex Trebek. Debbie met Bruce/Kate Jenner. Linda was on the set with Bruce Willis. Skydiving. You guys, so cool. Fan club for Brett in the right place at the right time. Paid for it, right? Ooh, backstage at Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. Climbed beloved art. Oh my gosh, climbed the Sydney Harbor Bridge. I've been to Sydney and stared up at that bridge and thought, no freaking way would I ever do that. I have not swung dance on a stage, but I have told the lead singer of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy he isn't with the band and can't go on. Oh my gosh, Mariana, you've got some stories. All right, scrapbook.com. You got to tell me if it's Laura or I never know who it is. I know we had Laura last week. Met Montel Jordan. This is how we do it at a Burger King in Amsterdam. Okay, I guess I just showed my age too because I just sang the song. Oh my gosh. Hung out with Deep Purple. Michelle, your friend, was one of the last contestants on Jeopardy. Oh my gosh, that's cool. The top of the Sky Tower in Auckland. Anika Sorenstam, travel agent. Anika. Is that an artist, like a singer? Cheryl lived in Germany. Taught Brelt Eldridge, oh my gosh, in elementary school. Walked the 3-day. I don't know what that is. Performed at Carnegie Hall. Lisa, oh my goodness. You guys. Holy moly. Okay, Mariana, you've never partied with Beyonce, but I did tell Jay-Z he couldn't come in because everyone is the rapper and no ID, no inside. Okay, were you a bouncer, Mariana? I'm so confused. Oh, you guys, I love this. This is so fun. Oh, LPGA, there we go. Okay, golf. Pikes Peak. Oh, Joe, okay, 3-day walk for breast cancer. Oh, good for you. Oh, Joy Ellen. Joy Ellen was with the Dalai Lama at the Parliament of the World's Religions Conference in Melbourne. Holy cow. Won a trip to Australia. Debbie, you swiped a napkin with Monica Lewinsky's lipstick print on it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, Laura, we have to chat. If you think that is showing your age, we know that you are quite a bit younger than I am, my dear, so I don't even know what to say about that. Okay. This is how we do it. This is funny. I didn't know who sang that song, but I know the song. All right. You guys keep chatting about what you have done. I'm going to keep working because I could sit here and literally read all day about, okay, that's one thing. I got to change one of the things on my list. That just reminded me what Tracy said. All right, what's coming off? That one's coming off. Okay. This could be, you could do this list like forever. You could have a whole book of never have I ever, but I haves. Because you just keep thinking of them. All right, so never have I ever crashed a wedding. But I have, ooh, that's a juicy one. But I have, failed a test. Probably more than one. Now, I was a pretty good student. So I maybe failed the French test or something like that. The test that I will never forget that I failed was the first time I took my driving test when I was 16 years old. I failed the driving test. I don't know what I did wrong, but I was devastated because, you have to go back and tell all your friends that, no, I can't drive. I failed my test. That was sad. Well, sad. First world problem, sad. Never have I ever gone on a solo vacation, but I have, this is the one I just added, but I have met Michelle Obama. And Tracy mentioned something a minute ago about, I've got to go back and look. Tracy Michelle Obama spoke at her college master's graduation ceremony. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now, we don't like to talk politics, but did any of you guys see Michelle Obama at the inauguration and her fierce hair and purple pantsuit and oh my gosh. Anyhow, yes, I had the amazing opportunity to meet Michelle Obama at just a little over a year ago on her Becoming book tour. One of my amazing lifelong friends. Well, that's a whole other story. But anyhow, yes, the very cool experience that if we had an hour, I would tell you all about. Well, we have an hour, but I won't take the hour to do that. Had surgery. I've had surgery. I've had a couple different surgeries. Most recently being, I don't know, probably 5 years ago, I tore my meniscus and had to have that repaired. Since then, Sam, our younger son, has also torn his. Same doctor repaired his. And Nick has also, Nick didn't tear his meniscus. Nick tore his ACL skiing. That's a whole other story. Let's make sure this is right. This is Splash and Splash. Yes, that's what I need. Same doctor repaired his. All right, so never had a tattoo, but I've had surgery. Never participated in a protest, but I have crashed a car. Crashed my car. That's always a bummer. All right, one more. Never have I thrown a drink at someone. I could say, but I have wanted to. I'm sure I have. Not thrown a drink, but wanted to. Candy pink. All right, that's the next one again. We're starting clean again. And this one. Never have I ever thrown a drink at someone, but I have had pink hair. For a very short time in high school, I had pink hair. All right, friends, let's see. 2 broken wrists at the same time. Holy cow. Ooh, Candace met Ricky Nelson. I saw Kathy say something. Jackie said something, and then Kathy said, I would never. Mariana, you're killing me. So Mariana and I met at PlannerCon a couple of years ago, which was a really cool planner conference in San Francisco. We talked, I don't know, it seemed like we talked for a couple of hours, but look at all these things I never knew about you. So here's the thing, you guys, I will tell you, this is something that you would probably be surprised to know about me. I have a very difficult time making conversation with people. So if I meet someone new at a party or something like that, it's really hard for me to make conversation with people, which seems kind of weird because I talk a lot. So in my head, I'm always trying to think, okay, so when I'm in that situation again, or I've started walking with a group of neighbors and I'm like, ooh, I got to be thinking about, completely overthink everything, but I've got to be thinking about good conversation things just so it's not weird and awkward. But there are some things like this. Somehow if you could work in gosh, have you ever, or tell me about a celebrity that you met. Sometimes it kind of helps to break the ice and makes it really fun. Like this that we're having. This conversation that we're having. I know, right? Mariana sounds like all of our kind of friend. I think Mariana, when we all get together in Hawaii and we're crafting and doing all the things that's on my bucket list for all of us to do one day, we're all going to be fighting to sit next to her because I think she's probably the life of the party. She's the one who's going to be telling us all the stories. Laura, I don't know if I knew that you had... I don't know if I knew that you had pink hair. I probably didn't know that, but you could, yeah, I bet it looked awesome on you. Not so good on me. So Sarah, I have not read the book Quiet. And it's interesting because I think one of those weird, like introverted extroverts. In certain situations, I am very much an introvert, but I think for the most part, I'm an extrovert. But I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look at, oh yeah, right, Mariana. It could be Bruce Arias. I'll have to look at that. I'm going to look into that book Quiet. Yes, Mariana will be our keynote speaker. Okay, so hang on. I just have to write over here. I'm going to look at the book Quiet. Later I'll be like, book Quiet? What? Why do I need to be quiet about a book? All right, so there we go, my friends. Omnivert. Ooh, there we go. Ambivert. There, yes. I didn't even know that was such a thing. Omnivert, ambivert. I am ambidextrous. I played soccer for a long time. I played soccer in high school, all growing up and in high school, and I was on the boys varsity team in high school because there was no girls team, and I was the only girl. And I taught myself how to play soccer, kick really well with both my left and my right foot. So I was not ambidextrous, but like footidextrous. I'm sure there's a special name for that. Omnivert or ambivert, yes. All right, friends. Played violin. No, Mariana, you'd be awesome. I got caught in loose gravel and my car went in a ditch. Ooh. Okay. Okay, guys, here we go. So that's the end of our list. I might add, I don't know, something else. I don't know, we'll see. But one thing I will do, well, no, I don't need to put a new date here because the date's over here. So we're good. So there we go. Never have I ever, but I have. One thing that I might do, I'm just going to see. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Okay. You may see this list look a little bit different later. I don't want to do this now. I'm not going to try to lift this off. I may lift it off and put a few more things here. We'll see. So interesting. And speaking on stage, and I'll just say this really quick. Literally, one of my biggest fears used to be speaking in public, like horrible, terrifying. I'd rather do anything but. And in college, my freshman year of college, I took a communications class. And a lot of it was about standing up and speaking in front of people. And something just completely flipped in me. And I have done things on TV, QVC, Create and Craft, which was something in the UK. I've done a commercial. I've just done a lot of different things. I've done like local morning show here. I've done lots of different things and it doesn't bother me. I have taught to hundreds of people at a time. I used to be in software and ran our user groups and would talk to 300 or 400 people at a time. This I have absolutely no problem with. But sometimes if you put me one-on-one with a person, I'm like, so how's the weather? It's just something weird happens. So just put some matching hearts from the sheet to the left and call it good. I know, right? We'll figure it out. Okay, next list. The next list is winter faves. So a lot of times I talk about not trying to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's fun to do a completely different design or a different list because we just want to play and have fun. But other times, at least for me, I get so caught up in, oh my gosh, how do I make my list different? Because basically we're doing the same thing, right? We're putting a title and we're adding some things. So how do we make it look a little bit different? And I had talked about before my little sketchbook that I have started where I am seeing different things and drawing out or sketching different layouts for different lists and things just to kind of freshen things up sometimes, because I feel like sometimes you want to freshen things up, but sometimes you have a format and you really like it and it works, so why change it? And that was this example from last week. If we looked at my past season memories list, they all looked very similar to this because I liked it and it worked and it made it easy. It made it easy for me to not get so tied up into, oh my gosh, what should I use and how should I lay it out? I just went, oh yeah, I'm going to basically copy what I did before, but change it up for the season. That is what I'm also going to do for the next list. Our next list is winter faves. So these are some of my favorite things about winter. And this was the fall faves list that we did. And it just so happens the collection I used here was Cozy Days from Simple Stories. And it just so happens that the Simple Stories Winter Cottage collection, so it makes it so easy when this happens, has a very similar piece of paper from the 6x8 pad. So this was the paper from the 6x8 pad over here for Cozy Days. So it had fall faves. And look at this, winter faves. So that's what I'm going to do. This will be a list that I do about winter faves, and I will do it very similar to the way that I did this one. So I have pulled out my winter cottage because I'm just now starting to, this will probably be the last time for this season that I use winter cottage because it was kind of half and half. It was part Christmas. Winter cottage is a really good collection, and then it kind of had a dual personality, which is always nice. So when you can kind of stretch your products, this had part Christmas and part winter. So I pulled out my winter cottage little pouch here. I know I'm going to use my stickers. And I pulled out two of the papers from the pad, the 6x8 pad. So winter faves and the burr. So I will use both of those papers here. And I need to grab my jar. Nancy's going 10 faves and 10 things I hate about winter. Oh yes, you know what? We could totally do that. Scraping the ice off of the car. Oh, there's nothing worse, right? Well, let's be honest, there's things worse, but when it comes to winter, that is a bummer. And then when you slip on the ice and fall, and then you look up and you're like, oh, I hope nobody saw me, right? I've never done that, right? I've done it. If you live in a climate like that, it's pretty much guaranteed that you've done it. Then the other one is when you think that you're smart and that you're like, oh, I don't need to scrape off the windows. And you get in the car and then you just slowly roll the window down, hoping to get all the snow off. And then it doesn't work and all the snow comes in the car. You never learn. All right, so my insert standard wide, but so I know I need to start with it at least 5 inches wide. This is 6x8 because it came from my 6x8 pad. So I know I need to trim an inch off, but I will trim ½ inch off of each side so that I am even. So I'm going to lose a little bit of that. That's still me. I'm going to lose a little bit of it, but that's okay. Lead rides. We know what it is still. This guy, I may not end up having, normally I like to have a little bit of a border, but let's see. This guy would also be 5, but I'm not worried where I cut it. I think though, I'm gonna cut it a little bit slimmer. Slimmer is better. Yeah, that'll give me just a tad. So I need to make this just a tad. So I'll just cut a little bit more off of here. I'm gonna lose a little bit more. All right, there we go. And I will pull out my little corner rounder because I like to have the little corners rounded. But only the outside corners. So there we go. And the outside corners of this one. Like that. Oh, what am I missing about highly personal questions and deepest, darkest secrets? Look, I'm missing all this stuff. I hate that. This, if you are working with the 6x8 pad, you don't need to throw that away because that could end up being just a nice little border on another one of your lists. So this could be on your hate winter list if you wanted, if you were doing a hate winter list. Now, some people love summer. I mean, some people love winter and hate summer. Me, the opposite. I love the summer. Not really a fan of the winter. And I really don't live in the best place for being not a fan of the winter. But it's where we live. And Nick loves to ski. So if my dream is to live in the beach one day, I think we'll have to have a beach house somewhere, which I really don't see happening. But, you know, one can dream, right? Yeah, because I don't think Nick will ever want to leave the land of the snow. Although this season really hasn't been much snow, so you can't really call it the land of the snow. Karen, I just saw Karen left a comment about scrapbooking or doing something in your traveler's notebook about the inauguration. I saw some really cool things that people did on Instagram. It was kind of fun. Okay, so can we just talk again? We're not going to talk about politics, but can we just talk about Amanda? Oh heavens, I just lost her name. The 22-year-old poet laureate. Holy cow. That gal has some talent in her. Oh boy. Okay. So let's come in and do our Gorman. Thank you. Yes. And even if you didn't watch the inauguration, I would encourage you to go Google her speech as she was speaking. Talk about poised and just so eloquent and holy cow. That's one of those things that is nature, not nurture. She was born that way. You could just tell. I mean, as poised and eloquent and well-spoken. Even I saw an interview with her on the Today Show that Laura, I think Laura. No, not Laura. Laura's the mom. Oh gosh. Jenna Bush had interviewed her when she was 18, when Amanda Gorman was 18. And still, when she was at Stanford, Stanford, Harvard. I'm clearly missing some things. But it was amazing. She's watch for her. She's going places, right? I think they said she has 2 books right now on the #1 bestseller list. Karen, yeah, Garth Brooks too. I love Garth Brooks. And you know what I thought was really cool? And again, no politics. But I thought it was really cool. I saw an interview with him after, and he was like, he's very Republican. He's like, I am sure I've got some people that are going to be mad at me for doing this. But he's like, you know what? This is what I feel like I can do to help bridge some of the difficult times that our country's been going through, which I thought was really cool. Andrea's here from Fairy Tale Scrapbook. Andrea, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Andrea did a really cool free printable of part of her poem that I saw. And Andrea's style is very cool. She's very true to the fairy tale scrapbook style. So that would be a really fun thing to include if you are documenting that, especially if you're documenting the Amanda Gorman part of it. And you know what? And here's an idea. Maybe you don't want to document the inauguration, but you still want to document kind of something. That would be kind of a neat thing to document is Andrea Gorman's poem, not speech, poem. All right, so here we go. Here's the start. When I literally say I'm basically going to do the same thing, I'm basically going to be doing the same thing. Andrea, if you want to include a link in the chat, feel free to do so to that printable. Also, or to your blog or wherever. You might also, when the video is over, come back and leave it in the comments as well, because after the video, it's harder for people to see the chat if they're not like following along with the chat after the fact. So yeah, feel free to do that. I met Andrea. Andrea, I don't know. I don't know if you remember how many years it's been, but I met Andrea years ago. She was on Simple Stories design team when I worked for Simple Stories. All right. Oopsie. So shipping tag, I pull these out every so often in my lists. I use these quite a bit in my mini books because I think they're just fun little small pieces of something to use. I've linked the tags and another thing I'll be using later in the description of the video as well. But they're just regular old shipping tags. Okay. We need a little decorating down here. So let's go ahead and put this guy down. Oh, you guys, I tell you, I've spent a good amount of time over the last probably 10 days planning new project kits on the scrapbook side of what I think of things of what I do, but then also ordering tons of new product. This time of year is generally one of the big times of year when you see a lot of new products come out in the crafting and scrapbook industry. Normally, there is a very big wholesale buying show this time of year, really, actually, probably it's usually mid-January, called Creativation. It used to be called CHA for the Craft and Hobby Association. But that's usually like the big buying show where all the retailers go to buy and all the manufacturers have their booths. So it obviously with COVID, that is not happening. If you're on social media, you may see a lot of people talking about that's normally where we are this time of year. But anyhow, still lots of fun products coming out. So news at 11 on that. Stay tuned. A couple of you guys are awesome about reaching out to me and saying, hey, I know this collection is coming out. Are you going to be carrying it? And then I say, oh, yes. Or I say, no, I'm not planning on it. But I love that. That's so nice. All right. I pulled this one out again. This pink. I thought this pink could go really well with, there's a lot of pink in this collection, especially over here. So, and it kind of works. It's kind of, it's because it's opaque, right? It's a little opaque, translucent, whatever. It's a little bit see-through. How about that? It's a little bit see-through, so I kind of get a little bit of a different effect there. I don't know if I love it, but that's okay. It is what it is. Oh gosh, I know what I wanted to grab. Hang on. I'm hoping it's just right over here. I try, let me see. Oh yes, yes, yes. Okay, it's here. It's gonna be one of these two things. When I have new product coming in, everything that is, so our house, our new house, whatever, the house we've been in for the last 2.5 years. Oh, that's not gonna work. Is a rambler. So one story, but then there's a fully finished basement. And in the basement, that is where, well, there's lots of things down there, but that's also where all the mail by mail stuff happens. The kitting, kits and packaging and shipping and all of that. So when new products come in that I want to use, I put them in a little bin and I bring them upstairs. And then anyhow, it was over on the other side of the room. But these little guys are new. These are skinny. And it's fun to have skinny, well, let's be honest, it's always nice to be skinny. It's in my world. Skinny washi, a little bit thinner. So I thought one of these blacks would work well. Now, originally I was thinking this guy, but that is totally not going to work. The reason that's not going to work is because that's a stripe, and the vertical stripe on the diagonal stripe will not look good at all. So let's see if this little black and white polka will do. This little black and white polka dot. Where's the end? There we go. Translucent. Yes. I always mix that up. Opaque. Oh yes, Joanne, the Simple Stories travel line called Safe Travels. It's good. Yeah, I have a scrapbook project, a scrapbook kit, mini book kit planned for that guy because it'll be a fun one for sure. All right, so get a little bit of black in there, bring in a little bit of black, and then of course the outlining, and then my writing will be in black, so that'll work. Now, if I ever decided to get outside of my box and use a different color for writing, I always use black. That's just what I use. But these little guys would be awesome for that because of that dual tip. Alrighty, so we need something down here. Let's go to the stickers. Oh my gosh. So Diane said, have you seen the Bernie? The Bernie memes, you guys. Let's talk about the Bernie memes. How awesome are those? The Bernie Sanders, who, again, for our non-US friends, he was he's been actually a candidate for president. He ran for, not a candidate, he ran for president in the primary elections for the last 2 election cycles. But he is from Vermont, and he's very down to earth, and there is a meme that's rolling around on the internet of a photo of Bernie Sanders at the inauguration this past week. And he's sitting in a folding chair because that's where he was. And he's got his big parka on and his arms are crossed and he's kind of slumped down and he's kind of old man looking because he's got gray hair and he has these really cool mittens that are made out of old sweaters. But this Bernie meme has been floating all over the internet. And so where people are taking him in the folding chair and like putting him in all different kinds of places in different photos. So it's kind of funny. But what Diane said, seen Bernie, the ski resort. I've seen so many fun Bernies. Bernies on a ski lift. Bernies in the Target one spot. Just Bernies everywhere. They're so fun. Bernie on a gurney. Oh gosh. Okay, so popular in Canada too. Yes. So a lot of times in Canada, you guys are familiar with a lot of what happens in our political arena because it can affect you, right? Because we're neighbors. Although we generally have no clue of what's going on in Canada or Mexico, you guys are very good about, and I jokingly say that, but I also am serious when I say that because, well, that's just sometimes the way we are here in our country. But yes, it's funny. Bernie, so cute. So cute, Bernie. It's funny, there is a company called Love Woolies that I bought a pair of basically those mittens are made out of recycled old sweaters. And I bought a pair of mittens just like that, but obviously different pattern. Oh my gosh, probably 5 years ago. And when I saw Bernie with those on, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to pull those out. They're so fun. All right, I think what could be kind of fun, these little mitten stickers. Maybe if we do little, okay, I just had to look at those to make sure that they were on the right way. Those could kind of go right there like that. All righty. Except that looks weird. Yes, Celia, you're right. Exactly. Celia hit the nail on the head, the hammer on the head, whatever, you know what I mean. She said, we have no idea what is going on in Canada because they don't make a spectacle of themselves all the time. That is true, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Susan, I don't know if I've seen the Bob Ross with Bernie. And I love Bob Ross. Love the man. He's just so nice and calm, right? Lots of times we need calm in our world. All right, let's see. Let's just see if there's a little bit more. Normally, I would never just think to put, pink in winter, right? So it's kind of a fun little change, right? Let's see. That'll go there. Oh, and then look, I have a few of these little snowflakes that I could use. That'll work there. Okay. I think that's good. Winter faves. Knitting is not one of my winter faves. I've always wanted to knit, but no. You know, sometimes when you know, you just can't add one more hobby to the list of hobbies that you do. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so let's start making our list. Winter faves. Let me look at now. The winter faves was really a little bit harder to muster on my list because winter's not necessarily my favorite thing, right? So let's figure it out here. Hold on, I'm looking to see what we're saying. Oh, yes, Familiar, 1999. They come like that. That is from the Winter Cottage 6x8 pad. So this guy. And I've linked to the Winter Cottage collection that I'm using. Yeah, that makes it super easy, right? Because then it's just a lot of the decorating is done for us. Okay, good. It sounds like you guys are finding the printables. Wonderful. That's really fun. Okay. Yes. Happy little trees from Bob Ross. Okay. Really quick, let me grab a sip of my lemonade and then we'll keep going. Yes. French for family. Familier. Is familier? That pronunciation might be Spanish. Familier. I'm sure if I could hear you speak it, it's probably amazingly beautiful, but when I speak it, it just doesn't sound very good. Okay, here we go on my list. So this was interesting. Well, my list is going to be a run-on. So when I say run-on, I mean I'm not necessarily doing a bulleted list like I just did right here. My run-on is just, I am just writing. And I like to put like a little bullet kind of in between each of whatever I'm writing. So that's what I'm going to do here. Let's see. Kelly, I will talk about new products again. Okay, here, let me do this. I'm going to make a note. There are two things I need to make sure to do at the beginning. At the end. Hello. The beginning. The beginning's over, Lael. You can't do them at the beginning. I am going to show the pouch storage where I store them. And then I will also talk about new products. So you know what is coming. But then that way, people that want to sign off before then can. All right. You don't pronounce the E at the end. Familiar. Yeah. Wearing wool is a fave. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, well, of course. Look at your YouTube name. I would expect nothing less. Lauren and the yarn. I bet you do amazing things with yarn, Lauren. I'm assuming that your name is Lauren, right? Okay, so here we go. So here's an interesting thing. Hard pressed to come up with some things that really are favorites during winter, but you know what? We have to see the positive in all the things, right? Michelle, thank you. This top, this is part of the sleeve. Let's see if you can see that. And then I'll tell you why I'm showing you. So it's part of the sleeve. And then there's all these little danglies. Anyhow, my friend Vicki, a couple of years ago, we do this a lot. We share lots of things. She knows my taste. I know her taste. A lot of times we buy things for each other or say, hey, this looks like you. She saw something online at, some online department store or whatever. And she goes, do you like this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. And it was this top. And so, she bought it for me. And then, when we see each other, we usually see each other a couple times a year during non-COVID times. We give each other the things. So she gave this top to me. All right. So here we go. The list, as I was saying, sometimes a hard time to, come up with the positives in this dismal winter. Puffy coats. I'll call them puffy down coats. Whoopsie, almost made that into an A. Coats. I love puffy down coats. This could actually tie into the next list that we're doing. I have a ridiculous amount of black puffy down coats. Oh, Elizabeth. So let me actually I'm going to add that to the list of the thing at the end too. COVID kit. I'll put that on there too. What happened to that? Okay. Puffy down coats. Love puffy down coats. I have this thing lately with knit hats with fur, and not fur really, with fur pom-poms. Pom-pom on top. Not pom-poms. That sounded funny, like there's not pom-poms all the way around the hat, but knit hats with fur pom-pom on top. Yes, I think I now have 4 of those. I love those. And it's probably why I think oh yes, puffy coats, not puppy coats. Well, yeah, puppy coats. Puffy, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Knit hats with fur pom-poms on top. I think that's because for years I had short hair and I could never wear those cute hats with the little, knit and with well, you know what I'm saying. Now that my hair's longer, then I can wear those and I don't look like a complete idiot. At least I don't think I do. Other people might. Yes, Debbie, that's on my list too. Let's see. Oh, we'll just do it here. Snuggling up in a cozy blanket for sure. Sometimes for me, especially the stage of life I'm in with hot flashes, it's not even like having it on me. It's just like snuggling with it, like having it like just bunched up around you. And not even around you, but like in front of you. Okay, so another one is fire. Having a fire. Okay, this is going to sound horrible. Turning the fireplace on, right? Yeah, that's what we do. Turning the fireplace on. It's not really having a fire. It's just turning on the fake fireplace. Flipping a switch, right? Warm and cozy socks. Okay, Debbie, I wish I could say warm and cozy socks. I cannot wear socks. I can't wear socks. All the time. I have bare feet, except if I leave the house. But it's like it traps the heat in. I can't do it. And the older I get, the worse it gets. Debbie, I don't know if I've ever really had a hot toddy wearing Bernie mittens. I know, right? Wearing Bernie mittens. Let's see, what else is on my list? I just saw something that made me, freshly fallen snow. There's nothing like that. Now, the opposite of that would be on my winter hates list would be the day later, when everything just looks like brown and yucky, and then all the mud from the road is sprayed all over the snow, and yeah. Oh, yes, Debbie. Look at Debbie, I'm like channeling you today. Well, you're channeling me, or I'm just loving what you're saying. So, heated car seat. And steering wheel. Yes, those make all the difference in the world. I know, Mariana, I am living in the wrong state. Honestly, I am living in the wrong state. Totally. Okay. So, now what was interesting is, so I'm like, last night I'm like, Nick, I don't even this is what I have on my winter faves list. This is probably why he thinks he's the genius behind everything. Cause I asked him, and he's like, oh, what about, it's funny. He said all these places that we would normally go in the winter. So they're still part of my winter faves. So I'm going to say that I literally did have Creativation on my list. And he actually said that. He said CHA. That is one of my favorite things normally about winter is going to that show. Just because it's so fun and I get to see so many friends and people that sometimes you only see once a year, and the vibe is just so cool because there's all these new products. And yes, another winter fave is going to Hawaii in February. We have done that probably the last 7 or 8 years, not this year. Nick has a big customer in Hawaii, and there is a big trade show in Hawaii every year in February. So, oh, did we just get really blurry? You guys tell me, did we just get blurry? I think we did. Oh, you know what? I know what's wrong. That's why. We learned this. I learned something new the other night. On Thursday night, we were doing for those people that bought the Winter Traveler's Notebook Kit, we did the February setup as part of that kit on Thursday night. And what was interesting that I learned, I was working in a traveler's notebook that had a white inside of it. And then some of the product I was using was white. And what was happening was the camera was constantly fighting, trying to figure out where to focus. So what I just noticed, it got blurry. You guys may not have seen it. This right here, my list, between the white here and then the white of this, the camera was like going back and forth, having a hard time focusing. So I still need that, but I'll put that over to the side. Okay, no, yeah, we're clear now, but okay. I know, so those of you that live in Southern California, or those of you that live in a warm climate, or those of you that live in the Southern Hemisphere, although we talked about this last week, and this was the blonde in me coming through. Is it summer right now? You call it summer right now in Australia, right? So it's not winter. Is that right? I don't know. Anyhow, your winter faves may be totally different. Your winter faves could be putting on a light windbreaker. I don't even think people call them windbreakers anymore. To go to the beach because it's a little bit chilly. Okay, anyhow, that was going to Hawaii in February. The next one, the Torchlight Parade. The Torchlight Parade on New Year's Eve. So one of the ski resorts here does a Torchlight Parade on New Year's Eve where you can ski in it. Years ago, they used to give out flares and literally was at night and it was freezing cold. You'd get on the ski lift and you'd go up and you would ski down with your skis, no poles, because you were holding the flares. And it's the coolest thing to see. However, a little bit dangerous. People are skiing and it's New Year's Eve and some people have been drinking and just kind of a recipe for disaster. There was never a disaster, but recipe for one. But it was so cool because we did it with the kids a number of years with friends. And then as the kids got older, a lot of times the wives are like, yeah, we're good. We're going to hang out in the lodge. And so you'd hang out in the lodge and you'd see all the way up to the top of the mountain, just this, this weaving back and forth of all these people with their torches. It was really awesome. But that's another one of my winter favorites. All right, you guys, that is pretty much the end of my winter favorites list. However, there are two more things I'm going to do because there's something that's bugging me. It's really empty up here right now, and so I need to add a couple more stickers. And I'm going to add, well, I have a snowflake here. Maybe I'm only going to add one there. This is kind of empty, but that's okay. It'll stay there. All right. So there we have it. But I think what's fun about this is a lot of times you don't have to be super creative, right? And there were two ways that I didn't have to be super creative here. Number one, I used something that was pre-made that really made it easy for me to do my list, right? But then the other way was that I landed on something that I liked before that worked for me before, so why not do it again, right? Escondido, I used to live in Escondido. Well, when I was much younger, when my dad was in the Navy. Well, one of the places we lived when he was in the Navy. All right, you guys, so there we go. That is list number 2. List number 3. List number 3. So this is, sometimes people are like, where do you get your listing topics? And all over. Sometimes you guys will send them to me. My friend Christine is really awesome about sending me listing topics. In fact, I have an email from her. I haven't even looked at it, but it said I've got more ideas, so I can't wait to look at that. The other, sometimes I just Google things for list ideas. Sometimes things pop in my head, and so I have a running list of list ideas that we go through. But another one, I happened to see my friend Susan Opal had this on her Facebook page earlier this week. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's a perfect list. So this list is I have a ridiculous amount of, okay? I have a ridiculous amount of. So your list is going to be about something or things that you have a ridiculous amount of. This is the list that I had come up with, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. And I'm like, hey, Nick, what are some things I have a ridiculous amount of? Oh, let me tell you. If you are having a hard time coming up with things that you have a ridiculous amount of, ask someone that's really close to you. If you have a spouse, a partner, a roommate, a child, a grandchild, a friend, ask them. They'll tell you, because you may not in your head think you have a ridiculous amount of something, but that person, if they're being honest with you, will tell you the things that you have a ridiculous amount of. So that is what I'm going to do right here. Now, if you remember a couple of weeks ago when I did this list that I am still kind of working on, right? I need to come back and finish up some lists that I haven't had a chance to finish up yet. But when I did this list, I said, ooh, I'm going to have to be careful about whatever list I put right here. Because since I came in here and I cut off part of my Traveler's Notebook page, right? I cut off part of the page so this little guy could stick out. That means that whatever is going here is kind of going to, I'm going to see, right? So I have to think about what I'm going to do here. Hi, Lizzie. My friend Elizabeth Williams is here. Lizzie. Penguins. Lisa, you must collect penguins, pens, journals, craft supplies, Heidi Swap products. Yes. Scrapbook paper, books. Ooh, finding joy. It's good that it's raining. You guys always need the rain, right? Okay, so Andrea, I didn't know that you were in Hemet. My grandparents used to live in Hemet. So I spent a little bit of time in Hemet. Nancy Drew books, I love that. I loved Nancy Drew books when I was a kid. Flip-flops, fabric, bobbleheads. Ooh, that's fun. Look at all these things. This is another thing we're adding to our list, and when we're all together, let's talk about what we have lots of. Okay, so for this list, let's come in and outline first, because eek, that's just what I do. Oh, I just remembered something. I won't do it now, but I'll have to come back. One of you probably told me this. I didn't do, when I did my double line here before, I colored that one in with yellow pencil. I'll need to do that here because it's kind of hard to see, but I need to do that. Beach towels, love it. Vintage Pyrex, vintage dictionaries. Ooh, Mariana, jeans. Jeans on my list too. We'll talk about jeans in a minute. Okay, so I had pulled some papers from the Sweet Story pad. I love, it's no secret. Well, I think it's no secret. I don't know, maybe it's a secret. I love crepe paper products. I love Maggie Holmes. Maggie Holmes is a friend of mine. There used to be probably maybe 5 or 6 of us that all lived here in Utah that we used to get together and scrapbook way back in the day. Maggie didn't scrapbook with us, but anyhow, long story. But I love Maggie's style, and I just love everything she does. So Sweet Story is one of her collections from last year. And I brought the 6x8 pad in because, well, if I like it, I want you guys to like it too. So I pulled out some papers that really kind of spoke to me from that pad. Oh, hang on, there's too many things in my way here. Let me get this out of the way. I'm not using that anymore. Let's put this away. We need to put our things away because sometimes it makes it hard to, keep track of what we're doing. Okay, anyhow, pulled some papers that really spoke to me. This color combination, I love. Dave, oh my gosh. All right, so you guys, Dave, Nick, I'm gonna get Nick. Dave is Nick's brother. Oh, Lord. Dave just left a nice comment. Oh, Dave, I love your nail polish, dork. Nick's gonna get in trouble. Anyhow, you guys are meeting all the, well, I shouldn't even say all the con-cars. You're meeting the both sides of the family because you've met my mom, you've met my dad, Jack and Sam and Nick. You've met a number of my girlfriends that are here. Well, not here, but in Salt Lake. Now you've met my brother-in-law. Lovely. Dave likes nail polish. That's so funny. Yes, Dave's a comedian too. Family full of comedians. Anyhow, okay. This color combination, the pink with the coral, I just love that. So, and really what started kind of this, me going this way, was when I pulled out all of these die cuts. When I pulled out the die cuts from the Hey Hello, as I was pulling out stuff to coordinate with this list that we did, I had these die cuts out. And then I'm thinking about my list and I'm like, oh, there's some die cuts I could use here because there are some things that I have a lot of that could work. So I had pulled those out of the die cuts and then started looking at all these papers and I'm like, yeah, this is what I find so interesting sometimes. Totally different collections, right? And look at how those things look like they were meant to go together, right? And this guy, the teal's a little bit off, but look at all that. It looks like they were meant to go to each other. So sometimes when I'm working with product, and this is whether it's my traveler's notebooks or my mini books, layouts, whatever it is, sometimes I will use all the same products from a collection like we just did here. This was all, wherever it went. This was all Winter Cottage. But, because it makes it easy, right? We know it all matches, it all coordinates, it's easy to work with together. But a lot of times you can find things like this across collections that will work really well together. So, that's what I'm doing on this one. This is a one-page list, because I don't think I have that many ridiculous amounts of things. Although, again, ask Nick, he'll tell you. So, I will have a paper that goes down here. As my base. So what I just need to think about a little bit is what goes here. So that would work. That's not bad. I already know, but I have this out anyway. I know that this will not work well there. And we see why it doesn't work well, because it's a lot. You've got horizontal rainbow, you have rainbow, that's just too much rainbow. I'll use that some other time because I love it. This one could be cute here, right? The colors are a little bit off, but I have an idea of how I think I could use that if I decide to use that. This one, I just love the tigers. They're just fun. Maybe. I haven't laid any of these out yet. And I know that one won't work because stripes. Let me just fix that one really quick. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, we know this one's not going to work on this one. I will either do this. I just want this to work. Actually, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to do this as the base, and then I'm going to use this as an accent. Because tigers, why not? All right, so this one we need to trim. I know, Andrea, I just always assumed that you lived like in Anaheim or surrounding area because of your love for Disneyland. Okay, we need our trimmer again. So instead of measuring, I just marked that off. Oops, there we go. There we go. I'll need that again in a sec. I don't have enough room for it, so we'll just move it. Okay, this will go right here. And I'm not going to round the corners on this. I'm going to end up using this. Yeah, no rounded corners. Lots of Disney shirts, stamps, lots of stamps and paper. Let's talk about Disney. I know that's hard. It is hard. One thing I think is very cool, and then we'll just talk COVID for a second. It's awesome to see places like Disneyland that are now becoming, well, not Disneyland itself, but the parking lot, right? That are now becoming vaccination hubs or zones, or I don't know, whatever they're talking about. Whatever they call them, but I think that's kind of cool. There's a large convention center about a half an hour where we are, and that is where the health department in Utah is having a lot of the vaccinations. Well, not a lot of, but the vaccinations are happening there. All right, so I'm going to use another library pocket for this list. So it's too plain, obviously. I don't want all of this here, but that is where the tigers are going to come in. Let's see. So as I move this around, I mean, I have some different spots of where the tigers could go, right? So I want, obviously, the most tigers per capita. I want the most tigers. I think it's all pretty much the same, though. We'll just do it here. I want to be able to see as many tigers as I can. Well, as many, like, full tigers. So we'll get 1, 2, and then kind of parts of the heads. So sometimes some of the things like this, like you might look at a paper like this, like a tiger paper, and be like, what would I ever do with tiger paper? Well, this is kind of a fun, whimsical list, right? Things I have a ridiculous amount of. So if you can't use tigers on a list like this, I don't know where you can use them. And that's another fun thing too. I think when we do our listing like this, I mean, you might have some product that you think, oh my gosh, I just don't even know what I would do with that. Well, pull it out on a list, right? Pull it out on a list, for a list. There we go. I missed something that Diane said. I see, that's so cool, Diane Reyes, but I don't know what she said. Here we go. Okay, I get too sidetracked and then I miss things, that I've missed what you guys are talking about. So I'll just go back to missing out. All right, so here we go. No, 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 no. Now what I need to decide is whether or not I want that part in there. I'm not sure. I pulled these guys out. Let's see if these guys end up getting used or not. I think they can work there. We're just going to do it. Oh, I don't need that. These are, I know, it's like having FOMO for your own part. I know, I'm missing out. All right, so I just went to put my adhesive on the back of this, and I don't need to because these are self-adhesive. Oh, how fun. So Diane's daughter's a performer and wants to work at Disney World. Oh, that's fun. Ephemera pack. Denise, that is, those are the Hey Hello. That's the Hey Hello ephemera pack. So the same ephemera that I used on the Never Have I Ever But I Have lists. Okay, I think that's going to be my spot. Yeah, the flowers are beautiful because they are gold foil accents. Those, a lot of the ephemera in there, the die cuts in there, have gold foil accents on them. Let's see whether this guy will work. One thing I'm trying to work on is my layering skills. Sometimes I feel like, you see some people do some things and they're like layering looks just so amazing and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that. And then you're like, when I layer, it never looks like that. So yeah, we'll try to work on our layering skills a little bit. But that's too much. That's like too serious now. I've got like 2 totally different looks going here, right? I have this tigers with flowers. All right. I need to pull in some, let's see. Oh, I know what I want. I feel like I need, I just don't know where. Okay, I need a label. I need like a label sticker. Let me just, I'm now just digging. I am digging. Terry, yes, I have been seeing all the new products. Somebody asked if we could talk about new products again. So when I'm done with this list, I will take a little bit of time. We'll talk about new products. I will show you guys, I will show you how I store the pouches, and then we'll talk about new products too. I'll talk a little bit more specifically about what I'm having, what I have coming in. So what I just did, I just pulled, this is my little pouch of a bunch of my Pink Fresh stuff. And when I said I wanted to use some labels, I went to my Pink Fresh stickers because they and their stickers always have lots of these awesome labels. So I thought, oh, I'm sure I can find a good label that would work somewhere in here. So I was thinking that I might, I don't know. We're just going to kind of play here. Oh, okay, look. Somehow, like this, I think we're going to make this work somehow. I'm not sure where, though, because I could put my title maybe on this little label. And that actually, I think we can make it work because the colors, those two colors are super similar, right? They are super similar. I just don't really love that little kind of weird angle on that, but it is what it is. Yeah, my layering skills. That's something I need to work on. That'll be on my self-help. Things I need to work on. Those could be one of our lists. Hey, let's do that. Hold on. Oh, this is not my listing list thing. Okay, I'm just gonna add this here. Too many lists. List. Things I need to work on. And I will tell you that. I'll tell you right now. I will not ask Nick for help with that list. I will not ask Nick for help with that list because I tell you what, I'm sure he'd make my list be really long. All right, so I just saw something that someone said. Kim, hi Kim. Kim was on Vicki's last tonight. What? Kim was on Vicki's Facebook Live last night. There we go. Yes, so what Kim said is maybe try to just cut that part off, right? So if I cut it off, I'm going to cut it all the way off. And I realize I cut off part of the heart, but that's okay. This is more me. That label is now more me. Like that. We'll just move it around a bit till we find where we like it. Layering. Oh yeah, now I have to make sure to cover that up because it would look really weird to me if that thing was on there and then it was not on any of the other side. Let's see. I feel like this guy needs to be in there somehow, but it's just kind of not, well, just get over it, Lil, right? Okay, who has great layering skills? I need to go find them. Kathy, I have not ever done a tour of my scrapbook room, crafting room, whatever. It's really not exciting. It's not like Vicki's. It's not like a lot of people's. I really have a hard time with things being out. So lots of everything is just shut away, but not in like a really cool giant room shut away kind of thing. And just like, anyhow, long story, but I will one day. I will. I have to clean it up and then get it all organized first though, right? One day. I think, this is what I think. I think, and this is what I will focus on first, which will be, what will be more beneficial would be for me to show people how I store things, how I organize my things, as opposed to a tour, because the tour just would not be really exciting. This is really funny. I taught at a virtual event, I don't know, over the holidays. And they're like, oh, we want to see your room. We want to see your room. And I'm like, okay. And I showed it to them and they're like, oh, we thought you'd have a room more like so-and-so. And I'm like, nope. It was funny. But I'm glad that the lady that said that because she was being honest. I'm like, nope, nothing too exciting. All right. We're getting there. I don't know. I need to cut some of this part off, I think. And we'll jam it under there. Maybe that was part of the problem. It just needs to be a little tiny bit poking out. I don't know. Somebody find me a class or a video to watch on layering. Those of you that use Instagram, one of my favorite tools that Instagram has is, you know how you can save posts, like you would save images from people's posts. I have tons of different little folders and they're private, so people can't see what you're doing. They can't see what you've saved, but I have tons of little posts or little folders saved with different, like I'll have, I just started one a couple weeks ago called layering. So when I see people that do like what I really like when they do layering, then I just put the photo in there so that hopefully I can learn from that. But the key with all of that, just like with Pinterest or with, you know, your quote list or anything like that, is you have to make sure to go back and actually look at them once in a while. So I have not done that. Anyhow, okay, so let's put these away. This is kind of what I talked about at the beginning. I put all my Pink Fresh stuff together because even though it's all different color, all different theme, I know their style, and I know when I'm looking for something like, ooh, a label, then I know that that's exactly where I go. I tell you, half the battle / fun in, you know, working with lots of different products is knowing what you have and using it, right? Because sometimes if we don't know what we have, we don't remember what we have, then we never use it, right? And then we feel guilty because we have lots of stuff just taking up space that we never use. All right, so I'm going to pull out my little hearts, I think. Let's see. Oh. There's a cork heart that was stuck in the, I don't know. Sure, why not? Okay. So, let's now, all right. I'm thinking out loud, you guys, sorry. What I really need is this, which is my little tiny attacher stapler, but it is out of staples right now. And I have no idea where I put the staples. So we will go with a glue dot because I'd like to staple that on, and I would just kind of lift up one of those flowers and staple it, but that's not going to work since I'm out of staples. I don't know, I can already tell. This is gonna be one that I've got to mess with for quite a while. I'll end up figuring something out, but okay, here we go, right here. Here we go, outlining. My list will be on here. So, I have, a ridiculous, when I said, I realized that I was not going to have a lot of room to write my title on there. So it's kind of jammed in there, but that's okay. I have a ridiculous amount of, okay. And then the things I have a ridiculous amount of will go in here. And I think what I will do is 2. Yeah, this is going to need way more work. I can already tell. I'm just thinking. All right, I'm going to start writing my list here, and then this one I'm going to have to come back to. Oh yes, Karen. Missy Whidden is like queen of layering. She's really good. She is really good. Vicki, I love you, Lele. Oh, look at you. Vicky's back. You can tell. Word sticker on the flowers. Vicki is also very good at layering. Yeah, I know. You see, I had my word stickers out. Word sticker on the flowers. Oh yes. Okay, we'll get there. It's just taken me a while on this one for some reason. I don't know. Let's see what we have. I pulled out a couple of different, ooh, you know what? Okay, let's look at Small Talk Snarky. Because Small Talk Snarky could be kind of fun with I have a ridiculous amount of. The Snarky always likes to come out, and I think I need some black there. So, Small Talk Snarky, let's look for something that might work. Ooh, sorry but not sorry could be there. Don't judge me. Okay, I think that's probably it. Don't judge me. If you guys are newer to, okay, this will end up maybe, I'm getting frustrated because it's just not, it's not happening yet. This will go here. I'm just know I'm gonna keep on working, guys. I'm gonna keep, Vicki, cut it. I know. If you guys are new to, I'm not frustrated with you, my friend. I'm frustrated with me. If you are new to my Saturday sessions, when I kind of have my go-to products, I use alphabet stickers a lot. I use word strip stickers a lot. Some of my favorite word strip stickers to use are these guys. So you have Small Talk, you have Small Talk Snarky, you have Chit Chat, another Small Talk, you have Clippings. These are all just little word strips. And word strips sometimes are exactly what you need to go somewhere when you've got something going on, right? I need more going on here. I need more layer and different things. Hi, Debbie. And yes, you guys are saying cut it because it's too wide, right? It's got all that extra black, so I will cut it. But these are one of my go-tos because just like that, we'll just cut it while we're at it. When you are at a stage like this and you're like, it just needs something's missing. Well, word strip stickers sometimes are just what you need to fix. Don't judge me. All right. We'll end up with something up here too. So I won't start making my list right up here. I'm just going to start making my list right in here. I think I will use the new little black dot marker for my bullets. Hopefully I have that many things that are ridiculous. Oh, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this. Now you guys know pretty much everything I write is in black, but it'll be hidden here. So I'm going to use, I think I could use Island Coral and Candy Pink. No, actually I'm only going to use Island Coral. My entire list will be in Island Coral. And really what I should have done now, I should have done my dots in Island Coral as well, but that's okay. Okay. My list. I have a ridiculous amount of, a couple of you guys said this. For sure, I have a ridiculous amount of washi tape. You guys know that about me. Right? I have drawers and 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 drawers full of washi tape. Shoes. All kinds. I like shoes. I guess the good news is I don't like expensive shoes. I don't buy like super expensive shoes. Oh, Vicki, I totally forgot about that one. Shoes, all kinds. Perfume. Yes, perfume is another one of my things. I love perfume. Every day I put perfume on. Well, especially during COVID. I'm not going anywhere, but I like perfume. So I have a lot of perfumes. And then Vicki likes to smell my perfumes and say, oh, I like that. But then here's the thing about perfumes, if you didn't know, they don't smell the same on the same people. Just to be careful with that. It's just different body chemistry and stuff. Earrings. Now, not so much me. Vicki has a ton of earrings. Vicki can rock a pair of earrings like no one you've ever met. Also purses. I like purses. I used to carry really big like purses, like big bag purses that you could put everything in. And COVID, since I'm not really going anywhere, I stopped carrying a big purse. And I made the mistake a couple of weeks ago of going somewhere with a big purse, and I wanted to like poke my eyes out because I couldn't find anything because it was all floating around. So I don't know what's going to happen in the long run. Yes, this is true. I have a ridiculous amount of traveler's notebooks. The covers, the inserts too, but covers. I bet I have close to 50. And I just love them. They make me happy. So that's okay. 5 pairs of shoes and four rarely get worn. Not a shoe person. Interesting. So I can't remember if I've talked about this before or not. Tony, I don't remember his last name. The guy that started and ran Zappos, who passed away late last year. I had the opportunity to hear him speak years ago, and I was fascinated by this. The man that started and ran Zappos for years, the shoe place, the online shoe place, right, had 3 pair of shoes. And that's all he ever had, because he didn't start that to be a shoe company. He started to be a customer service company, which is a very interesting, he has a very interesting story. So anyhow, you would think that someone that had a business like that would have lots of shoes, but nope. She said that's a lot to spend on crafts, and I knew we couldn't be friends. That's good, right? Oh, you know what? So here's another thing. This could be another list. You can never have too many. And that might be too close. Do I have a ridiculous amount of? I'm going to write that down too. Never have too many. Actually, I like that one because I think that could go a totally different angle than this one. Okay, traveler's notebooks. All right. Then, okay, I'm going to do one more. That was mine. Photos. I have a large amount of photos. A large amount of photos on my phone. A large amount of printed photos. Photos have always been a big part of my life. All right, now, again, last night, Nick, so my third list is, I have a ridiculous amount of, and these are the things that I have on my list, and he's like, oh, and then he just starts rattling them off. So the second part of the list is Nick's perspective of what Lael has a ridiculous amount of. The very first one he said was coffee cups. Now, he likes to call it Ray and Dunn, but he knows darn well that it's not called Ray and Dunn. He knows what it's called. I have a large amount of Ray Dunn coffee cups. I'd say 30. And they're all the cream ones with the black writing. That's it. The tall, skinny writing. That's it. I don't like the colored ones. I don't get into all the themed. It's just that. And I've stopped because really there are a lot. There's not room for any more. So yes, that was the first one he rattled right off. He's like, you have too many coffee cups. The next one, pillows. I think this is a man thing. Roy Dunn, right? I think the men in the world are probably like, that damn Ray Dunn, right? Yes, Vicki loves Ray Dunn too. She loves it. Pillows. So I like pillows. I like a lot of pillows on our bed, decorative pillows. I should probably say pillows decorative. On the couch, yes, and Nick thinks pillows are stupid, and really that we should only have 2 pillows, one for our heads, right? No. He's like, the couch already has like cushions on it. Why do you need pillows? Shut up. Okay, pillows. Next thing, readers. I have a lot of glasses, a lot. Several in the car, several in my nightstand, 1,800 in my craft room, everywhere. They're everywhere. Readers in my purses, whatever. Um, okay, this is another one. Yes, there you go. Things our better halves have too many of, right? Golf clubs, skis, ski things. Yeah, yes, tools. Why do you need like 8,000 wrenches? I mean, really, isn't a wrench just a wrench, right? Yeah, we could totally have that. That would be a fun one to do. I mean, it could be your kids or your pet or, right, whatever. Okay, readers, another one. Nick, this is kind of weird. He said underwear. He said I have like 1,000 pair of underwear. I don't think I have lots of underwear, but I guess he thinks I have a lot of underwear. But I guess again, men, if you have more than 7 pair of underwear, and maybe not even 7, maybe he thinks I should just have 5 pair of underwear, because if you do laundry at least once a week, then 5 pair of underwear would be fine. So I guess in his book, anything more than 5, I should ask him. I should say, so what is like too many pairs of underwear? He said, all those things you have on the back of the bathroom door. So we have in our master bath, you have like a little water closet or wherever where your toilet is, and it's its own little, room closet or whatever. And on the back of that door, I have one of those like door hanger cloth fabric shoe hanger things that has like 30 little places for your shoes to go in. Well, that's where I put a lot of my hair products, like dry shampoo and spray and conditioner and my hair dryer. And he said, all those things that you have on the back of the door. Well, and I'm like, oh, you mean all my hair products? And he goes, no, like all your curling irons. So he thinks I have a ridiculous amount of, I'm going to say, hair curling devices. I don't know. I maybe have like 5 or 6, but one is a flat iron that I've never been able to figure out how to flat iron curl hair. It just ends up with big kinks in it. I have a couple different barrel size. Anyhow, he thinks I have lots of those. Blankets. I'd say probably not a lot of blankets. Kristen has a lot of blankets. I don't, Celia. Yes, you have to have a lot of underwear, of course. Puppy pastel gets. Oh, I think I missed part of that. A lot of hair things. I do. I know, Vicki, you haven't even been to my house since I've reorganized them all either. Ipsy collection. Pens. Yes, I do. Vicki knows that. I have a lot of pens. Now, I'm not done yet, because there is at least one more thing on my list. And this is one I think that this is a list that I need to keep thinking about, because I think that there are probably more things on my list that I'm not thinking about. So I'm going to keep thinking about this one. But jeans is another one. I have a lot of jeans. Now, here's the deal with jeans. You have different wash jeans, right? Like different colors. So some are super dark, some are black, some are a little bit lighter, some are white, some are cropped, some are skinny jeans. And when I say skinny jeans, I mean like 2 things. Some are skinny jeans, like really skinny jeans. Some are skinny jeans, meaning when you're skinny, you can fit into them, and when you're not, you can't fit into them. So then you have to sometimes have 2 different size jeans. So when COVID happens and you eat to solve your stress, not solve it, but to address your stress, then you need to move to the not so skinny jeans. So yes, I have lots of jeans. Makeup. So, I don't think I have a ton of makeup. Oh, I know. Lipstick. I have a lot of lipsticks. I'm always looking like for the perfect one. And Vicki, your perfect one is not mine. I know you love that one, but it's not. It doesn't have enough color for me. Lipsticks. Paper, pens, stamps, tan covers. Oh, stamps. Yes, I have lots of stamps. Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. Kim, that is interesting. I'm sure there's a story behind that. Maybe it was on sale. Oh. Okay, so I know another one. What did I just say? What was this? Oh, stamps, yes. Stamps, not like the mailing stamps kind, but the, not the mailing stamps kind, but the, stamping stamp. crafting stamp. I know, Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. All right. How about this? This could be a fun list. Products I want to try. How about that? Products I want to try. That could be a future list. Dawn Power Wash. I have to write this down or I won't remember. Power Wash Dish Spray. I'm going to look at that. That sounds awesome. Okay. Another one on my list, candles. I like candles. I like smelly things, if you didn't know, based on the perfume that I have a ridiculous amount of. Let's see. Oh, hand sanitizer masks. Yes, right. Things I want to try. So here's an idea, you guys. Things you want to try list. I think we will probably, maybe next week or the week after. I'm kind of shuffling some things around. Well, anyhow. So if you have things that you want to try, leave them in the comments, not here in the chat, but pop in and leave a comment after, or shoot me an email. And you can just go to my website and click on contact us and shoot me an email. I would love to know. Yes, jackets. Oh yeah, puffy black coats. That's another one, the puffy black coats. I think I probably have 6. That's bad. Socks, jackets, coats, cardigans. All right, friends. So this one is still going to take a little bit of work. Not done yet. I need to have a little bit more. Yeah, there's a lot more that needs to happen here. So I will do that after the fact, and we'll take a look at that finished next week. Oh yeah, I do have a lot of cardigans. I have a lot of like long cardigans, but you know what I mean when I say long cardigans? Vicki knows this because we have shopped for these a lot together. Cardigans. Cardigans. I don't wear them as much as I should. Oh yes, date it. Yes, I do need to date it because this is important. This is an important one. I'm going to wait to date it until I figure out how I am finishing it off, because there's a lot of work that still needs to happen on this. So one thing I know needs to happen for sure, though. I will come back in and date it as part of the finishing it, because it's not where it needs to be yet. It's just not there. Okay, friends. I am going to flip the camera. There's some more things that we're going to talk about. So, 1222, part of a number. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the lights. I'm going to flip the camera. There are 2 more things we are going to talk about. Well, 3. First of all, we'll be on again next Saturday. But don't leave, because I still have lots of talking to do. Oh, hang on. Let me unplug and flip the camera. There we go. Oh, I have a dentist appointment on Monday. That's what it just told me. Okay. So let's move this. We have some things to talk about. Next Saturday, we will be on again next Saturday. The giveaway. So for today's giveaway, leave a comment about something that you have done. So last week was Never Have I Ever. This week was something I have done. Oh, we're not done yet, Karen. Hang on. Oh yes, there's another giveaway. This is a big one, you guys. It has been, that will go through the end of the month. So it is for the Epson PictureMate PM400 printer that one of the amazing ladies has, I gotta just fix that, has anonymously donated, one of you. And so for that one, I've just been asking you to nominate someone that you think should have that printer. So, and you don't have to do it on this, on this video comments. You just have to do, hi Judy. I thought that said John. I'm like, John. Anyhow, oh yes, just leave a comment on any of the videos that I've done in January, and the very first Saturday in February, I will draw one of those, and that person will win. The person that you nominate will win the printer, and then the person that does the nominating will win a $50 gift card certificate, whatever, to my website. All right. How I store things. Things keep freezing for you. Are they freezing for anybody else? Okay. I hope not. Okay, good. Well, I just heard from Kathy, so I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to have to move over a little bit. I'm going to show you over here. All right. So right there, I need to weight this. Hang on. This will fall right down and we'll all go crashing. Okay. So right here, this is the thing that sits behind me. This is one of the Ikea Expedit. So Expedit is the old name for them. Now they're called the Kallyx, Kallyx, I want to say. I think there used to be a perfume called Kallyx too. Very blurry now, but it's okay. Are we still okay? I think it's okay. Maybe? I don't know. Okay. Anyhow, these are just IKEA, super inexpensive. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 by 5. So there's 25 little squares. These are all about 13 by 13, which is good if you're a crafter because lots of scrapbook paper comes in 12 by 12s. You can buy doors separate. And so I have doors on almost everything. I keep a few open. Like you can see that little guy right there is open. That is a vintage card catalog that I store a lot of inks in. But they also have drawer inserts. So drawer inserts, and you can store things in there as well. The place where I store these. So always get lots of questions about that. Where do I store these little guys? The top shelf. Yes, I should probably add that to my list. I have a ridiculous amount of vintage cameras. Okay, so these two are where I store those guys. Okay, so this piece right here. Ooh. This, can you see that? That is a file folder or file vertical paper storage thing that you'd sit on a desk. I think that's kind of hard to see, but I don't want to take the thing off. But see how they all just slide in there? And that, I will link, I think I did a little bit of checking around to find that would fit. I think I got that on Amazon, so I'll look and see if I can find that, if you have the Expedit and want to do things like that in there. But anyhow, that's where I store all of those guys. And then that way they are vertical and it's a lot easier for me to access them. Glass, yes, I've seen there are different inserts now. I think there's some glass shelf inserts that you can do. There are some wire inserts that you can hang that will make two different little guys. All right, next. Oh yes, next. Okay, let me move this back. All right. The 5 by 5 IKEA has been out of stock for a month. Here's the thing, you guys, about IKEA right now. Because there were some things that I needed to buy to add to our setup downstairs for the shipping and all of that I do. I think, as with a lot of places, I think COVID really put a wrench in things in terms of manufacturing. So IKEA sold out of a lot of things and has been sold out of a lot of things, I think, for a while. I think manufacturing was a problem, but I think a lot of people were also working from home and doing lots of home renovating and home projects. And so I think lots of people were buying IKEA. All right, so that's a look at how I do that. And stay tuned for a video on how I organize more. The last thing that there were a couple questions that a few of you asked about is to talk about new products again. Yes, I know the shipping charges are going up a little bit. So here's a really quick thing about that. The platform that I use for my website is called Shopify. And long story short, I get really, really, really good rates for shipping. And most of the time, all the time, those are passed on to you. The Canada shipping is crazy. Vicki and I had a conversation about this the other day because she wanted to have something shipped to her from the US and it was like $50. And she's like, that's crazy because I could ship the same thing from Canada to the US and it would only cost $19. And I said, well, I don't know. So Canada is always super, super hard. I can sometimes ship to Australia for less than I can ship to Canada. And this is the thing, whether it's Canada or whether you're the US. For the most part, the shipping cost is the shipping cost. When it comes to Canada, sometimes I can get really creative with how I package it. The way that postage works is there are tiers, and the tiers are based on the weight. So sometimes if you just barely jump into the next pound, like you might be 2.01 pounds, well, you've just jumped into the next rate. And if I can pull 0.01 of a pound out of packaging from your box, I can get it back under 2. So sometimes we have some flexibility in how we ship to Canada and trying to get that lower. So you can always reach out if you have a question about that. Okay, but yes, it's a bummer. Rates are going up, but hopefully not too far. Tiers and price. Yes, tiers and price, right? Did I say, yes, tiers and price and water tiers. All right. So, some questions about new products coming out. Tons of new products coming out. If you are asking from the scrapbooking side, so the project kits, like mini book kits that I do and things like that, there is a page on my website that says upcoming kits and classes. If you click on that, that will tell you what I have coming up and what I'll be using. So I have a kit coming up with, let's see. I have a kit coming up with the cottage gardens from Simple Stories. I have a kit coming up with the safe travels from Simple Stories. I have a traveler's notebook kit coming up that is another Disney themed one. I have a traveler's notebook kit coming up with Maggie Holmes' new garden party collection. I have a mini book folio kit coming up with Heidi Swap's new, anyhow, if you go to that page on my website, it will tell you all that. And roughly when they will be released, it just depends though, on when the manufacturers ship. So the best thing there is to make sure you're signed up for my email so that you get notified. As far as new products, all the new there's tons of new products coming out. So just to give you a quick kind of overview of what I have ordered and what's coming. Vicki's new Vicki, are you still there? Is Vicki still here? Oh yeah, COVID TN, I'll talk about that too, because it's on my list. I can't remember it. Vicki's color, it's amazing, it's stunning. So I have some of those products coming in. I have Garden Party coming in. I have Heidi Swap's new, is it Carefree, coming in. I have, I forgot. Jen Hadfield's new collection called Reaching Out. I have that product coming in, as well as a kit coming up with that. Color Study, thank you, Kylie. I have Garden Party coming in. I have all the new Simple Story stuff coming in. So in terms of products that I will sell and that I'll end up using on our Saturdays. Really important there, you guys. If you have, I'll say it all the time and I'll say it again though. If you have a local scrapbook store, please, please, please support that local scrapbook store. It's really important that you do that. If you don't, then you know where to find it. With me, if you are seeing new products coming out and you're not sure if I'm going to be carrying them, then shoot me an email and say, hey, are you going to carry this? Sometimes I may be aware of it and sometimes I might not. And if I'm not, then I can look at it and see if it's something I would bring in or not. All right, last thing. Yes, there was a question about COVID kit. Way back when I was really heavily working on my COVID traveler's notebooks. I'm halfway through my third one. There were a lot of requests for me to put together a COVID kit, whether it was a traveler's notebook kit or a mini book kit, and this would be how you would document the whole COVID thing. And you guys, I thought about that, and I tried to figure out a way to make it work. And the conclusion that I came to was that I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I caught it. Yes, I always catch that at 1, 2, 3, 5 after one of you say that. Thank you. my grandma's saying hi. That's in my head. That's what that is. When I see 1, 2, 3, 4, because I see it all the time, then that's my grandma saying, hey. Oh, so the way that I put together my COVID Traveler's Notebooks, I used tons of things. I used a lot of free printables from people. I used some printables that I had purchased, and then I mixed all different kinds of product in. I did use some really cool product from Fairy Tale. Andrea had a really cool coronavirus collection. But when I started looking at trying to put a kit together, there was really no way for me to, oh, and I also used the Persnickety Prints, timeline printables, which were awesome. There was really no way for me to put a kit together that I think would be what people would want, because so much of what I did was free out there, and I could not put someone else's designs. I couldn't take someone else's free printable and put it in my kit. I couldn't take someone else's printables that I had purchased, like stuff I purchased from In a Creative Bubble. I couldn't put that in a kit because really I used very little physical product that was COVID specific, because when I was really heavily working on those, there really wasn't any. There was a lot of digital stuff, printable stuff, but not a lot of physical product that was available. I had high hopes for the Simple Stories one, which is wonderful. It's awesome. Only problem with that was it's a mini collection. I think there were 6 papers in there and a sheet of stickers. So when I was talking about, ooh, I could do something with that, I didn't realize it was going to be a super small collection with just 6 papers. So anyhow, there will be no COVID kit, at least a kit that I do. But I would recommend that if you're still looking for something like that, go back to, I have a video here on my YouTube channel where I flipped through my very first COVID Traveler's Notebook that I was working on. And I have a huge list of resources at the end of that of different printables and different products and different things like that that you might be able to use to put one together. That would also give you some ideas because I'm flipping through mine. So apologize for, I don't know if I ever really talked about that. It just kind of, you know, I tried to figure out how to make it work and then couldn't figure out how to make it work, and then it just kind of went off my radar. Close to my heart has fun COVID stamps. Yeah, there are a number of companies that have some really cool COVID stamps. I know I bought a set. But Andrea at Fairy Tale Scrapbook, she did a really neat collection that was fun. I did use some of it in one of my tans for sure. Andrea sent me that. It was very nice of her to send me that, and I played with it, and it was really fun to play with. All right, you guys, let's see. I'm going to duck my head under so I can see. Oh, I did have an idea. I had another list idea this morning. I'll just tell you guys, I'm not sure quite yet when we're going to do it, but I was thinking this morning about, I don't know, I must have been thinking about the inauguration and how I know I was thinking about COVID because my parents just got their shots yesterday, their first shots. And one of the things that you've been hearing a lot in the last couple days is that one of President Biden's goals is to have 10 million vaccines, I think, in 100 days. And I started thinking about those two together, and I went, 100 days. A lot of times when you have new political people in power, or you have new people that, new presidents of companies and things, they kind of have a 100-day plan. And I started thinking, oh, I know a fun list would be to get together and do, once COVID is kind of no longer on our radar, right? And we don't know when that's going to be. I thought it'd be fun for us to put together a 100 days list. So some of the things that we want to do the first 100 days when COVID is no longer an issue. So that'll kind of be our, it could be a bucket list or whatever it is, but that could be our kind of a fun 100 days list. So that will be a future list. I don't know. I just totally, oh, that just reminds me. Squirrel wasn't quite with us that whole time. Well, he was there. I just forgot him. Which reminds me, I think I just saw Pam ask a question. Pam said, any news on the scatter stamp? Was that what you asked, Pam? I think it was. So, yes, I think we have finished all the design for it. Andy and I were just kind of finalizing that this week. I have one more email to look at, but I think we're good to go. If you didn't know, earlier this week was National Squirrel Appreciation Day. Seriously, there's such a thing. I posted about it on Facebook, in the Facebook group, and I actually showed a little sneak peek of one of the stamps that will be in the scattered stamp set. The scattered stamp set actually has a name. It is called Scattered Thoughts. So that'll give you kind of a little bit of an idea of what's coming. But there is a Scatter the Squirrel. There are actually 2 different versions of Scatter the Squirrel that are part of that stamp, because of course we have to have that. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'm not sure what production time now is on that. That's something that Andy does. Andy handles all of that. I said, I don't want to be in the stamp business. I don't want to manufacture them. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So, she's taking all of that, which is awesome. But we will have we will have our own little stamp set, which I'm so excited about. All right, friends, it is 12:40 my time. So we start, oh, look at that. We're under 3 hours. That's kind of unusual. We've pretty much been doing 3 hours these days. So, yes, Karen, if you are in the Facebook group, if you joined the Facebook group, then you would have seen that it was Squirrel Appreciation Day. And that is the day that I shared the little sneak peek of our Scatter the Squirrel stamp. All right, guys, I'm going to just poke under here for a second and just see. Oh, Karen, your printer's having problems again, yeah. All right, I need to see if there's anything I missed. I'm sure I missed loads of things, but 100 million in 100 days. Okay. All right, friends, that's it. That is our Saturday. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope that you, if you were listing with us, that you had fun listing. I hope that you finished your list if you didn't get them done. I hope that I finished my list because I'm a little bit behind. I still have some finishing to do that tend to go back a little ways, but I'll get there, right? That means I always have a project to work on. The mom and me has to come out, right? Everybody wear your masks, stay safe. And, oh, I know, one last thing. If you ordered the Everyday Memories kit, the mini book kit, those started shipping yesterday on Friday the 22nd. We're about halfway through them. So hopefully Monday, Tuesday of next week, all the rest will go out. So just know that they're on the way. All right, friends, thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys all hopefully next Saturday. Bye-bye.